ब्रह्माहं यत् प्रसादेन मयि विश्वं प्रकल्पितं श्रीमत्स्वयं प्रकाशाख्यं प्रणौमि जगतां गुरुं। यः परमात्मा जगत् सृष्ट्वा प्रविवेश पुनः स्वयं तं कृष्णं प्रत्यगात्मानं वन्दे गोपीमनोहरम्। यस्य प्रसादादहमद्वयात्मा विश्वं समस्तं मयि कल्पितं च तं सर्वलोकैकगुरुं सदाश्री स्वयं प्रकाशं गुरुमानतोऽस्मि। गुरूणां चरणाम्भोजं प्रणिपत्य निरन्तरं तत्कृपालेशतोऽद्वैत चिन्ताकौस्तुभमारभे। Now, looking at this Tatpada, because it is a component of the Mahavakyam. Vakyam meaning a sentence, a statement. Mahavakyam means a great statement or the great statement. Mahavakyam. It is called as Mahavakyam because that what is revealed by this sentence is indeed great, and therefore this is the reason why it is called as Mahavakyam. So in this Vakyam, in this sentence, we have three words: Tat, Tvam and Asi. So the teacher in the very introduction has said that the word Tat will correspond to a certain object, because every word corresponds to an object. What is the object? So now to talk about how we understand it is, Padam means a word and Padartha means the object indicated by the word. So there definitely is some connection between the word and the object indicated by the word. Which is the word that you are looking at? The first word of the sentence, which is Tat. So what is the object? The object will be called as Tat Padarth. So understand the difference is there is Tat Pada and there is Tat Padarth. So talking about this Tat Padarth, we have said that this Tat Padarth can be understood through its Lakshana, the distinguishing characteristic. And the distinguishing characteristic is also twofold: Tatastha Lakshanam and Swarupa Lakshanam. The word Lakshanam means a distinguishing characteristic. Now, this distinguishing characteristic will be twofold: Tatastha and Swarupa. What is called as Tatastha Lakshanam? Yesterday I said that, we need to do the little homework, and I suppose all of you must have referred back to your notes and dug it out. And those who have done, congratulations, your efforts will pay you. Then the Tatastha Lakshanam means Kadachit Katve Sati Vyavartakatvam. Basically, the function that a distinguishing characteristic does is that it distinguishes the object from rest of the world. So now, in that distinction, the object becomes available for your cognition, for one to understand. And therefore, this is the function which the Lakshanam does. What does it do? It is a Vyavartaka. Vyavartaka means something that distinguishes. It removes or it segregates from the other things. Tatastha Lakshanam is, yes, it definitely distinguishes the object from other objects. But how does it do? It is sometimes present, sometimes not present. So it is kadachit, it is there, kadachit, not there. May be present, may not be present. So it is not that it is consistently and always present, because something which is not the very nature of the object, that which is not the nature of that object, it is obvious that it may be present sometimes, it may not be present sometimes. For example, the specs that one wears, it may be present, it may not be present. Yet you tell someone, oh, call that person the spectacled person. Chashme wale ko bulao. Now your work is done. From rest of the congregation of 5-10 people that were sitting over there, you know whom to call. Why? Because the Lakshanam that you gave, the person whom you wanted to be called was this particular person. But is it true that this person will always be wearing specs? So you say, no, sir, it may not be. Yet, this particular Lakshanam functioned to distinguish this person from rest. Okay? Now, over there, therefore, it is called as Tatastha Lakshanam. Kadachit katve sati Vyavartakatvam. And what is Swarupa Lakshanam? Swarupa Lakshanam means Swarupam sati Vyavartakatvam. That it is the very nature of that object and also functions to distinguish it from rest of the objects. So then you tell in the same congregation, then you tell, well, call that person with brown eyes, the person with brown eyes. Okay. So now it is not like the spectacled person. Now the brown eyes of that person are going to be always with him. It is not that sometimes his eyes are going to be brown and sometimes they are going to be blue. No, the person with the brown eyes is, unless and until he is wearing some colored lenses, okay, contact lenses. Swarupam sati Vyavartakatvam. So this is that which is the very nature of that object, and it distinguishes the object from rest of the objects. So this is called as Swarupa Lakshanam. In case of Tat Padartha, the teacher says we have both these Lakshanas, the Tatastha Lakshanam as well as the Swarupa Lakshanam. So when we say that what is Tat Padartha, then we say, and when we say Mayo, what is it? Srishti Sthiti Layakaranatvam Tatastha Lakshanam. That which is the very cause of this world, in the sense that which is the cause for the world to come into existence. Okay. that which is the very cause for the world to come into existence. That because of which the world continues to exist, and that in which the world dissolves back. So this is called as the Tatastha Lakshanam. Srishti Sthiti Layakaranam Tatastha Lakshanam. What is the Swarupa Lakshanam of Tat Padartha? Satyajnanandanantaha Swarupa Lakshanam Satchidanandam. This is the Swarupa Lakshanam. That this Tat Padartha is Satyam. It is something irrefutable in all the three periods of time, which remains unchanged in all the three periods of time, is Satyam. Jnanam meaning that which illumines. Okay, so knowledge means illumination of the object is called as knowledge. So when you say, I know the pot, which means that your understanding illumines the pot, existence of that pot. So jnanam, anantam, that which is infinite, time, limitless, unbound, is called as ananta, anandam, okay, of the nature of joy. This is the Swarupa Lakshana. So now we have, in the very beginning, we have the Tat Padartha. The Tat Padartha, in order to understand the Tat Padartha, we require its Lakshanam. What are the Lakshanas? Tatastha Lakshanam and Swarupa Lakshanam. What is the Tatastha Lakshanam of Tat Padartha? The Swarupa, the Tatastha Lakshanam of Tat Padartha is Srishti Sthiti Laya Karanam. Then, what is the Swarupa Lakshanam? Swarupa Lakshanam is Satyam Jnanam Anantam Anandam Brahma. That is the Swarupa Lakshanam. Okay. Now, in order to understand the Tat Padartha, the very first meaning that will flash in the understanding of the person's mind, no sooner the word is spoken, is the immediate meaning. Okay. What is the immediate meaning which comes to the mind when the word Tat is spoken? It is Mayopahita Chaitanyam. You know, that Srishti Sthiti Laya Karanatvam we have already explained as Tatastha Lakshanam. But how do we understand it? We understand it as Mayopahita Chaitanyam. The whole process we have seen, okay? Mayopahita Chaitanyam. Upahita means that which is along with the conditioning. So what is the condition called as? The condition means it is an upadhi. It is an upadhi. Mayopahita Chaitanyam. Okay. Consciousness, conditioned, knowledge and consciousness is used in the as synonyms over here, in the same sense. Mayopahita Chaitanyam, consciousness conditioned by the Maya, is the Vachartha, the immediate meaning, spoken meaning. Then there is an implied meaning. And the implied meaning is called as lakshartha. How is that lakshartha? Why maya vinirmuktam chaitanyam. So when the consciousness is bereft of the conditioning, is the consciousness free from the conditioning of maya, is the lakshartha. Okay. Consciousness with maya is vachyartha, and consciousness without maya is lakshartha. So we understand the tat padartha from these two perspectives, tatastha lakshanam and swarupa lakshanam. Then we also understand it as vachyartha and lakshartha. Now you will notice that when we have said mayopahita chaitanyam, it means srishti sthiti laya karanam. And when we are saying satyam jnanam anantam brahma, it means maya vinirmuktam chaitanyam. But this is the way we understand. It is not something which is difficult or complicated process. In fact, this is the process in which our intelligence processes any information. This has been simply verbalized by our teachers over here. Now, we have been introduced to the tat padartha. And when the word tat is spoken, the immediate meaning which comes is mayopahita chaitanyam. And on contemplating a little bit over it, we understand the nature of chaitanyam, the nature of consciousness is, it is free from the conditioning of maya. And therefore, now the word maya was introduced to us. And hence the question comes, sir, we understand what is a condition or a conditioning, like the light passing through a colored glass. The light appears to be red or blue or yellow. It is only because there is the condition of the glass in between. If this colored glass is not there, the light will not appear as red or green or blue, yellow, whatever. So what is it because of which the light, the sunlight appears red or blue? Is because there is that stained glass, which is the condition. Exactly in the same manner, we have a conditioning, and that condition is called as maya, because of which now the consciousness appears as the srishti sthiti laya karanam. Okay, what makes this consciousness appear, or what makes this conscious, what makes you understand the consciousness as the jagat karanam? It is this conditioning of maya. Here is the maya. Sir, what is this maya? So we have to say maya is nothing more than only an appearance. Maya is nothing more than appearance. And we have seen up to this point, yatha keyam maya. Keyam maya means ka iyam maya. What is this maya? This is the question. Yatha shuktyado rajatadi kalpitam tatha chetane acetanam kalpitam. Just as in a shukti, shukti meaning the shell, okay? Shukti. Just as in the shell, Rajatadi Kalpitam, the silver, etc., is seen. Huh? Though the word Kalpitam is used over here, I'm not going to now. I'm avoiding the word imagined, because sometimes imagination implies that it is a voluntary process. Okay, no, one lazy afternoon you are simply sitting and you imagine, what if I get $1 million? No, that kind of an imagination, this is purely imagination, and which is controlled by you. So it is a voluntary. So when there is imagination, it is voluntary. But now this is not something that you purposefully do. It just happens. So yatha shuktyado rajatadi kalpitam, meaning just as the silver is seen. Sir, where is the silver? Where is the silver seen? Which silver are you talking about? We are not talking about the silver which is there in the silversmith's shop. We are not talking about that one which is in the marketplace. Then which silver? The silver which is seen in the shell. Shuktyado rajatadi kalpitam. This rajatam is kalpitam. It appears as a piece of silver. Tatha, so which means that though we are seeing something which is shiny and white, meaning it can be silver, yet we reject the idea that there are silver coins strewn on the seashore. We never say that there are a lot of silver coins. Every evening there are silver coins on the seashore. No. Shuktya, it is kalpitam. It is nothing but shukti. Tatha chetane achetanam kalpitam. Okay. So now this appearance that achetanam kalpitam. Okay. So in the consciousness, that which is the object of consciousness is kalpitam. That what is illumined by the consciousness, that which is illumined by the consciousness is only an appearance. Okay, and this is Maya. So we were talking about what is Maya, and then you brought in two new words, Chetana and Achetana. Then you have said in the Chetana, which means now the Chetana has become the location, the substratum in which Achetanam is experienced, is seen. Nobody denies that Achetanam is experienced. The inert world is experienced. And a little bit of reminder, when I'm going to use the word world, just don't start imagining stars and mountains and rivers, just that much. The word, allow your mind to follow the word till it's fine, till what it has to really deliver. So think, what exactly do we mean by the word world? When we are going to say world, do we only mean stars and the planets and things like that, mountains and rivers? No, everything, even this table, the book, the pen in front of me, is not that the world? Of course, that is also the world. No. What exactly do you mean by the word world? What is it that the word world allows you to cognize. There we are going to say, now, world means that something that is not I. Okay? Something which is not assimilated in the meaning of word I will be called as world. Now let us say you're eating food and you have a morsel in the hand. Now, up to this point, it is still morsel. When you put it in the mouth, it is still morsel. And once it gets swallowed and assimilated, now you are using the word I for this body. Okay? Are we not using the word I? I am a man, I am a woman. So I means this body presently. Then that which was world no longer remains world because it is assimilated in I. So that which is not I is world. If it is assimilated in the world, in I, it no longer is world. You understand the difference? Think about it, contemplate about it. And then, even the sarvatmya bhava of the jnani, you can understand. So, world, achetanam. So the world is experienced. It is not denied. The world is experienced. Where is the world experience? The world is in my awareness. So the world is an object of awareness. The world is an object of knowledge, of consciousness, is the second thing. And the third thing is, it is in the consciousness. The fourth thing about this world is that it is an appearance in the consciousness. Okay? Out of these four things which we have seen, we already have an acceptance. World is experienced. Yes. The world is an object of my experience, meaning the world is an object of my awareness. The world is an object of consciousness. This also is acceptable. The third thing is that the world is in awareness. Apart from consciousness, apart from existence, apart from this awareness, the world does not have any existence, is a thing which we still have not got any much clarity about. And the fourth one, which is what do they call it? A quantum leap in understanding, is that the world is an appearance in consciousness. So out of these four things, first two things are already understood and accepted by us. The third thing is something that is acceptable, but we need more clarity about it. And the fourth thing, which means that the world is not only in consciousness, but is an appearance in consciousness. This fourth factor is something that we need to know. The third one is somewhere we know, but we are demanding more clarity on that topic. And the fourth one, where we are saying it is an appearance in the consciousness, this factor is not only not known, Not only that we do not have much clarity about it, but it is in fact not known. And so therefore, now we have to see that Chetane achetanam kalpitam. Okay. This so the world is an appearance in consciousness. The world, its appearance, and that appearance in consciousness. So the world and its appearance is called as Maya. Okay. The world is now called as Maya. Okay. What therefore achetanam, that which is the object, that which is not the consciousness, is achetanam. And chetanam means the conscious being is chetana. Consciousness, conscious being, same thing. And at this moment, we will use it as synonyms. Chetane achetanam kalpitam. Okay. Keep writing, okay, your notes, because this is, or keep making the mental notes at least. My suggestion is that, listen to it very carefully and make proper mental notes, even if you're not making physical notes. Just simply sitting in front and then saying that, well, in the morning we sit and, Swamiji gives a lecture and our day is made. This is not a holy duty that you have to fulfill. We are sitting over here together so that we will be able to understand what is the purpose of sitting together, not fulfilling a holy duty. कर्णपुट हमारे पवित्र हो जाएंगे. कर्णपुटों को पवित्र करने के लिए नहीं है. किसके लिए है? For what is the purpose? So that we are able to understand. Okay, let that be very clear. Kayam maya. Chetane achetanam kalpitam. And in order for you to understand this, he provided you an example. Yatha shuktyadav rajatadi kalpitam. Okay. Now, he says, what is this chetanam? What is that conscious being? Consciousness and conscious being, I said, for now, we are going to treat it as one and the same. What is this chetanam? So he explains, Nitya Shuddha Buddha Mukta Satya Paramanandanantadvayam is chetanam. What is this conscious being? It is Nitya. Nitya meaning timeless. It is timeless. Timeless meaning that it was not born, created, manufactured, and therefore its existence is not subject to any frame of time. Nitya. Nor does it extinguish in time, and therefore it is timeless. Nitya. Shuddha. Shuddha meaning that it does not have contamination of anything other than it. Contamination of anything other than it. Shuddha. Chetanam. What is this conscious being? Nitya. Shuddha. Buddha. The Buddha means not Buddha, okay, sitting with the curly hair and, what do they call Buchara? A bun on the head. No, of the hair. No. Buddha means over here self-illumined. It does not require any other source for its illumination. It is Swayam Prakasha, Buddha. So Nitya, Shuddha, Buddha, Satya, irrefutable, something which cannot be falsified. And therefore, Satya, Paramananda. How is it? It is of the nature of infinite joy. And Paramananda, Ananta. Ananta meaning that which is limitless. Antam nasti yasya sa anantaha. Anantam, that there is no boundary to it. The time cannot draw any boundary. The concepts cannot draw any boundary. Nothing is able to draw a boundary by saying this much is Chetanam and that what Chetanam is only this much. No. Anantam and Advayam. Advayam meaning non-dual. Okay. So now what is the nature? Chetanam, so he is simply giving you the definition. And this definition is Swarupa Lakshanam of that Chetanam. Nitya Shuddha Buddha Mukta Satya Paramananda Advayam Chetana. This is the substratum in which the Achetanam is kalpitam. Naturally, what is Achetanam? Now the next question is, sir, it's fine. You have given us provided us a definition of Chetanam. Now we need a definition of Achetanam. That what is not Chetanam. Sir, there is an inherent problem at this point. If you have understood, you have already said that Chetanam is limitless, infinite. There is no boundary. Now you are saying there is Achetanam, which means there is something other than Chetan. Now, when you are going to say other, which means there is already a boundary. Without the boundary, the other cannot be defined, or there cannot be other without a boundary. So we are therefore saying the other is already, we have said, is an appearance. An appearance cannot create duality. Therefore, now we are going to see what is Achetanam, that appearance. Ajnanadi Jadajatam, the entire range of inert world beginning from ignorance. So ignorance is something that is illumined by me and is definitely not me, because it is illumined by me. I know ignorance. Ajnanadi Jadajatam, beginning from ignorance, the entire range of this insentient or of the inert object is Ajnanadi Jadajatam, is called as Achetanam. Okay. Now we have got one word which needs clarification. In these two definitions of Chetana and Achetana, though there were several words that we were introduced to in Sanskrit, yet one word, that is ignorance. Because ignorance is of several things. I do not know German language, so I have ignorance of German language. I don't know computer systems, so there is ignorance of those computer systems. I don't know several innumerable things. Ignorance of all those things. No, we are not talking just ignorance of something. We want to know what exactly is ignorance. What exactly is ignorance? Okay, what is it? So, ajnana ki jadajatam. What is ignorance? What is this ignorance? This question now comes up, and that is explained. Ajnanam. What is ajnanam? Trigunatmakam. This is all we have done. I'm giving you only a synopsis. Okay. We have done this in ample details. Ajnanam Trigunatmakam Sadasadbhyam Anirvachaniyam Bhavarupam Jnananivartyam. So whenever we are going to use the word ajnanam or ignorance, that word will carry these four things. So our understanding of ignorance will be complete only when all these four characteristics are composed, or what do they say, are together, composite together. One, Trigunatmakam. Ignorance is of the nature of Sattva, Raja, and Tama gunas. These are the qualities. These are the basic elements. This is the basic nature. So, Trigunatmakam, Sattva, Raja, and Tamo Gunatmakam. Sadasadbhyam Anirvachaniyam. That it cannot be defined in terms of is and is not. It cannot be defined in terms of it being real or it being non-existent. What is non-existent? Something like the Vandhyaputra or the Shashashrunga. When I say the word, the horn of a rabbit, Shashashrunga, naturally it is something that is non-existent. Is not it? So when there is a horn of a buffalo, of a cow, of a reindeer, or antelope, or a rhinoceros, the horn is possible for these animals. But if I say horn of a rabbit, Shashashrunga, it is something non-existent. Is it possible for you to remove something that is non-existent? Let us say, I say, remove the horn of the rabbit from my room. Will you be able to remove? Is the nishedha possible of that? No. So Ajnanam is definitely not something which is like the Shashashranga. What is Shashashranga? Something that is asat, non-existent. Then there is something like Sat, which means that it really is. If it is, it cannot be removed. Something which cannot be refuted, something which cannot be altered is called as Sat. If something gets altered, changed, transformed, it is not Sat. It is not what it is. For example, let us say you have a clay in the hand. Then you make a pot out of that clay. Then you clump it together and you make a doll out of that clay. Then you clump it together and you make a cup out of that clay. Now, my question to you is, what is clay? What is clay? Can you say clay means a doll, clay means a cup, clay means a pot? Can you say that? No. Why? Because clay is something which remains unaltered, whether it is the doll or a cup or a pot. Okay? It remains unaltered. And therefore, in this example, we can say clay is something which never has undergone any transformation. What undergoes transformation is only the shape. The clay does not undergo any transformation. The clay does not become anything else to become a pot. The clay does not change its chemical composition to become a doll. The clay does not change its chemical composition or physical qualities to become the pot. No, it does not. Clay remains clay. And therefore, in this example, we are going to say clay is Sat. Ajnanam is not like that. Ajnanam undergoes a transformation, and Ajnanam also can be removed. I will explain. Where do we go to? Let's go back to our snake and the rope. Because I did not know it is a rope. So now, in the first case, there is ignorance about the rope. There is ignorance. I saw the snake. So has the rope become the snake? No. The rope cannot become the snake. A. Is there snake in the rope? No, sir. There is no snake in the rope. Is there a possibility that the snake can become the rope? No. Was there a possibility that the rope was a snake previously? No. So all the possibilities that the rope has undergone any transformation or could undergo any transformation are denied. Then, sir, what is it that has become the snake? And therefore, the first experience, I don't know, now becomes your experience. I think it is a snake. So the ignorance itself has undergone the transformation to become the snake. I don't know has become, it is a snake. So ignorance undergoes a transformation, undergoes a change, and something which undergoes a change, transforms, or can be removed. Ignorance gets removed. We know that. If there is knowledge, when the knowledge comes, the ignorance gets removed. It's a fact. So, something which undergoes transformation and something which can be removed cannot be called as Sat. You cannot remove the clay and keep the doll. The clay has not undergone any transformation, nor can you remove the clay, and therefore the clay is the Sat. His existence of the doll is the existence of the pot, is the existence of the cup, everything. And therefore, can we say that ignorance is Sat? So we cannot say ignorance is Sat. We cannot say ignorance is Asat. Because anything that is to be defined, basically you will have to define it as whether it is existent or whether it is existence, whether it is real, or whether it is non-existent. It is real or it is non-existent. Ignorance cannot be defined as either. Sir, why can ignorance not be defined as either Sat or Asat? Because ignorance is not something like the Shashashranga, horn of the rabbit. The horn of the rabbit is not there and is also not experienced. है भी नहीं और अनुभव में भी नहीं आता. Is not there and cannot be experienced. But we are experiencing ignorance. And therefore ignorance cannot be called as Asat. Ignorance cannot be called as Sat because ignorance undergoes transformation as well as ignorance can be removed. And therefore ignorance cannot be defined in terms of being real or non-existent. And therefore, how are we going to say what is ignorance? It is Trigunatmakam Sadasadbhyam Anirvachaniyam, cannot be defined in these terms. Then Sadasadbhyam Anirvachaniyam Bhavarupam. But sir, are we not experiencing ignorance as something that is existent? It is not existence, definitely. But is it not something that is existent? Because ignorance is my experience. I don't know German language. I have ignorance of German language, which means ignorance is, and therefore is existent. You cannot say it is totally non-existent. And something, if it is non-existent, it cannot be even removed. So ignorance gets removed, and ignorance is also seen associated with existence, and therefore is existent. is bhavarupam. And the fourth thing about ignorance is jnana nivartyam. Jnana nivartyam means that which can be removed by knowledge. Nothing else can remove the ignorance. Hey, you keep on jumping. The ignorance is not going to go away. Take the jumping rope and keep on jumping. The ignorance will go away. So the karma, etc., or you keep on praying, okay, please go away, ignorance. Please. The ignorance goes away? No. Then you meditate. Let me meditate. Ignorance will go away. No amount of meditation. By meditation, at the most, you can become peaceful. But will the ignorance go away? No, none of these methods, whether it is karma, whether it is upasana, or whether it is samadhi, none of them are capable of removing the ignorance. They have their own nivartyas. What will the karma remove? That karma can remove that. What is it that the upasana can remove? Upasana will remove that. What is it that the samadhi can remove? That samadhi will do. But our question is, what is it that removes the ignorance? What is it that removes the ignorance? And the answer is jnana nivartyam. Ignorance is removed only by knowledge. And therefore, when now the definition of what is ajnanam, what is ignorance, we have to have all these four elements in its definition. Trigunatmakam sadasadbhyam nirvachaniyam bhavarupam and jnana nivartyam. All these four things are essential to the definition of ajnanam. Okay, now we have understood up to this point. So once again, to bring everything together, we were looking at Tattvadartha. The Tattvadartha has got Tatastha Lakshanam, Swarupa Lakshanam. The Tattvadartha will be understood as Vachyartha and Lakshartha. What is the Vachyartha? Mayopahita Chaitanyam. And what is the Lakshartha? Maya Vinirmuktam Chaitanyam. Okay. Now the word Maya came, and therefore question comes, what is Maya? Maya is an appearance of the achetanam in the chetana. Maya is what? Maya is only an appearance of the achetana in the chetana. Okay. What is achetana? What is chetan? First of all, what is chetana? Chetan was said, Nitya Shuddha Buddha Mukta Satya Paramananda Anantadvayam. And then what is achetanam? Achetanam Ajnanadi Jadajatam. Everything beginning from ignorance. Everything inert beginning from ignorance. What is ignorance? Ignorance is Trigunatmakam Sadasadhyam Nirvachaniyam Bhavarupam Jnana Nivartyam. Okay, this is how what is Ajnanam. Now tomorrow when we meet, are we meeting tomorrow as well? Yeah, we will meet tomorrow. Yes, we will meet tomorrow. What we will see, ignorance also has these two facets, two faces, two aspects, and we will begin from there. All right. So for now, this much is enough. We will meet tomorrow to see furthermore. Om Brahmaham Yat Prasadena Mayi Vishwam Prakalpitam Shrimat Swayam Prakashakhyam Pranavami Jagatan Guru यः परमात्मा जगत् सृष्ट्वा प्रविवेश पुनः स्वयं तं कृष्णं प्रत्यगात्मानं वन्दे गोपी मनोहरम् यस्य प्रसादादहमद्वयात्मा विश्वं समस्तं मयि कल्पितं च तं सर्वलोकैकगुरुं सदाश्री स्वयं प्रकाशं गुरुमानतोऽस्मि गुरूणां चरणां भोजं प्रणिपत्य निरन्तरं तत्कृपालेशतो द्वैत चिन्ताकौस्तुभमारभे ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। Mahadev, Mahadev, Mahadev. Thank you all. Thank you very much.